morning, sunshine, and this is the Playground Experience Live Q&A Sandbox Edition. You see, I have here my lovely co-host, Kathy D. And in spirit, you just can't see it again. As usual, April Williams has came from another dimension. She's actually there, but you just can't see her. All righty then. So again, this topic is we're gonna do it like we usually do, a hodgepodge of everything. This time of this all of the energies and just kind of see where everybody's at. Definitely we know that we've had some new things. We're in Scorpio season. So we have officially hit that. What that was in the 22nd we hit
Yes.
Scorpio. Okay.
Hmm.
Right. And so I know what I have seen on some of the videos, they said the Scorpio is now, this is a time in which we really start to study and to actually say whatever we want, we really get ourselves gung ho and get ourselves ready, prepared to be able to actually do that during the Scorpio. That's what that energy is all about. And so we're still in the midst of going and on. That's where we want to go. We're still in the midst of all these energies still tugging us back and forth, like so. And we're like, wait a second, but you can pull this way, pull that way. I know I was just watching before we got on here too. K Moon was talking about the different timelines. We're at the point now that you got to pick a timeline. I didn't know anything about that until David had told me about the timeline. So you got to pick a timeline and stick on it, because whichever way it is that you're doing, it'll either take you towards where you want to go or either take you away from where you want to go. And so that's pretty much where we are with these right now. I'm noticing with me with the energies, it's just really, sometimes it feels kind of bipolar on some days. Some days
Hmm.
I'm myself, and some days it's like, who is that masked person? Hey, Tammy! So, who is that masked person? Did you say that? Did I do that? So it goes back and forth. You have those moments there as well. And so, what's happening with you, Kathy D?
It's one of the things that I've noticed this week in just different people I've heard talk and stuff is forgiveness is
Okay.
out there, is big right now. But they're not kidding about feeling like you're going in two directions at once. And sources really, they're going to make sure that you hear what you need to hear, and your guides are going to make sure that you know what you need to know. um you know just right down to definite directions. And like I was telling you before we went on, I was driving the other night and get the message to keep looking forward, keep looking straight, don't worry about what's going on around you. And as I did, then I saw two license plates that had a real significance to me, and then the date on it was January of 2021. um so they're making sure that you're seeing what you need to see. And we need to still be really mindful about and remember that there aren't coincidences. Everything is planned out and orchestrated. So, don't just blow that off, or, oh, that was just luck, or that song came on the radio, oh, just because I have it programmed in. Do you know how many songs there are? If you ever look it up, the chance of your song, especially if it's one that you have a connection with your DM, the chance of it playing 4 times in one day on satellite radio alone is
Mm-hmm.
quite rare. So when
Yeah.
these things are happening, that's when we need to go into that gratitude and be like, thank you, source. Because we don't, they're not coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. There's a happenstance to everything. And
Yeah. Uh-huh. You're right. You're right. You're right. Because I
oh,
always remind me of a saying I grew up with: nothing happens, it happens just.
mhm, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
My mom always said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and we're starting to see that. And with those reasonings, as we've all been talking about scrubbing the bottom of the coffee pot, I got a big flake of my burnt on, stuck on goop off the bottom of the coffee pot. Things have happened this week. It was shown to me that it wasn't a fear of being alone, it was a fear of not being wanted and not abandoned, just not even in the thought process of being wanted. And having, and literally when I say my eyes open to it, my eyes were flung open to it. And it made it so much easier because before, where it would be a very panicky feeling, this time it was just one of those things where I sat with it and I just kind of let it go through me, over me, and out of me. And as I did that, it was just brought to me like a timeline of all these times that these things have happened to me. And I mean, it really started from um
Oh, she's frozen. Oh my God. She's frozen. She'll be back. She'll come in. Man, it's some powerful stuff that's happening on here today for that to happen because April's in another dimension, and now we got Kathy D that's went out into another dimension as well. All right. As we go, hey y'all, hey, I know, Moon, stop laughing at me. Help us, Lord. We're gonna be all right. Is this that type of a technological day? Period with that. But what she said is true that right now we are having conversations with people and other ones. She'll be back having conversations also as well with other people and myself. A lot of this childhood stuff is finding its way up to, it's like bubbling up. A lot of this stuff you find yourself throwing tantrums kind of in some ways, and you're like, okay, like where is this stuff coming from, this me stuff. And this is a lot of stuff that again that maybe also as well as our things that really in order for us, and they keep on saying about this push. I know I seen on K Moon and she was talking about this push for this new earth or this new world that's coming as well, that in order for that to have that new world, okay, she's back. She had to go to that. She see what happened was she went to that other timeline and see, and then when she went to the other timeline, we was not able to see. Now, it sound like the kids. See what happened was, but yeah, but seriously, when we're talking about the Aquarius thing, a lot of this stuff is not going to be sustainable as far as your attitude, how you go about things like that. So if you're feeling these things kind of bubble up out of the blue, and you're like, where the hell did this crap come from? I was about to say something else, but I remember this is a family show. Where did this come from? Understanding that is some things that is just again that's got to come up from way down wherever it has settled from, and say it's got to be dealt with. A lot of us, I think, have gotten to the have also thought that I've handled it. That's another thing. A lot of people say, I thought I pretty much addressed that. Where's this coming from? And so that's another thing. But back to what you were saying, I was just kind of bantering and talking with the people as Moon was like, and she's gone again. And I'm talking again. Boy, you can tell this is live. Okay, she's gonna come back. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let her take over. I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm back. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, I had to switch to my phone. So that's what happened. And I can't read the chat. So you got to watch the chat. So if anything's said, because I'm on my phone now.
All right.
Because for whatever reason, I was using my school computer so my children can be on my computer.
Right.
And right in the middle of the broadcast, they decided to block the link. So I'm like, okay.
Okay, all right. This don't have nothing to do with education.
I guess so, but it's on, I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
But as I was saying, now watch. Now it's going to let me on. Okay, we're going to let's see if I can do this.
I'll be quiet this time, like a mouse.
Okay.
Ooh. Which one? You want me on the other one? Okay.
Put me on this one. Yeah, this is back. Until the county decides I'm doing something bad again, they're gonna kick me off. So but
this is live, folks. This is live now.
Yeah. Welcome to our world. You want to know what it's like inside our brains? Here you go.
There you go.
But like I was saying, in the 70s, my mom was, sedated when I was born. My dad had other things that he wanted to do rather than hold me after I was born. And so he looked at me and said, uh-huh, and then went home to watch something on television. So my first reaction or first bit of cuddling and loving came from the nurses. Um, and so I started to see this pattern throughout my life, and that's how, and it was just literally shown to me like a timeline that this is how these things had happened. So it's not a fear of being alone. I love solitude. I love to, just either sit in nature or, in the house and watch whatever I want, or, read a book or meditate. I'm good with all of that. But it's the idea that if I needed someone, I could pick up the phone. And it's my fear of not being able to pick up the phone and not have anybody to reach out to, and
Okay.
which is not a true fear. I mean, is not true. The
Mhm.
universe has shown me that, I have more, options to call than not. So, and that's something that as I have sat with it, and then I was shown the timeline. And so when that does pop in my head, I'm like, yeah, no, 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 that's not my story. That's not me anymore. That girl does not exist anymore. I,
Yeah.
that is not me anymore.
And that's one of the things I think also I might have even wrestled with as well, of understanding that with my mom, some things that I'm seeing, especially with that fear factor thing. And when she had told me one time in conversation how the fear factor had been passed on from, let's see our picture, my grandmother, moved down to my mother, and then moved on to me as well. Has, how we're passing on those things, and how those things that has been said or done in your case, really we have to go back there and re-script it to understand and to say, hey, that doesn't have anything to do with me, the present day now, who I am. The things and the actions that they had done back then doesn't have anything to do with me now. And it's that reparenting I found myself to really going back to really change things that's going on with me. Has been a tool or a skill that I found myself really truly going back to really, say, okay, hey, that was then, that was hers. At some point also, she has became almost like that, really that voice in the head, as well. And it has caused for truly me having to rescript that in the way of I talk and dialogue to myself as well. And so I'm in agreement with you saying that sometimes maybe the way that we're done in our childhood and even parenting has caused to be a very big factor as far as how we are in the present, how we showing up for ourselves in the present, how we showing up and having the world reflect onto us based upon the things that had been placed upon us from our parents too as well. That's
Mhm.
why we have to go back to, like you said, back to that forgiveness. I thank Soul Mission for saying that, about that forgiveness and acceptance, forgiving about what had been done to us, but at the point to accept that, hey, that's how you showed up that day. Probably maybe if you were at yourself, or really maybe it was the shock of it being the father, maybe I don't know, the first time, or who knows what was going on through your dad's head at that time,
Mm.
at that time. And so he was very, that's a disassociation of
Mhm.
of the thing, because you're like, okay, that reaction don't really match up with that. And there's some things that you see with your parents in the way they had to react to some things, that you say, you know what, like you said earlier before we came on here, that's
Mhm.
their thing. You have to get to the point to say, I accept it. That's how you showed up, and maybe that's how you continue to show up. But guess what? That ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's
At
right.
this point, it doesn't have anything to do with me. So you have to, what you have to, I think a lot of us are wrestling with too, is being okay with being okay with that. If I'm saying, you can understand what I'm saying. It's
Mhm.
like really
Well,
give yourself permission to be okay. Like,
well,
okay,
and it's okay not to be okay.
right.
That I think that's so much of what we have to do in our society right now is um be able to say, you know what, right now I am a hot mess train wreck.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And I accept that. And I understand what's going on, and I understand why it's going on. And I know that this is a time that source and God and my guides and the angels and everybody are working on me. And you know what? I might not be all together or in what I feel should be all together, but it's okay. It's okay because I'm better than I was yesterday. It's okay. And you've got to give yourself permission because so many people are causing so much undue stress to themselves
Yes.
trying to be perfect. You can't be. You don't want to be. Who would want that pressure? You know, it don't do it to yourself. Don't be a perfect parent. You know,
Yeah.
those little critters they don't come with a handbook, let alone like I was talking to my sister Tammy who's here tonight. I said that some of them don't come with a clue. You know, and you're going on intuition and trust and faith that you're doing the right thing, and that's really the way we have to go through life.
Yeah.
But
Just
we have to show the gratitude, and um we have to forgive. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive others. If you haven't seen it, Kay Moon has an excellent one that it's a two-part. It's one she did a year ago and the one she does now, and she talks about how she was led to forgive. And it was forgive anyone that had done anything to her, forgive anyone that felt she had wronged them, and forgive anyone that felt she still owed money to or she actually did owe money to, because it's a currency. It's an energy. And so if there's a debt, it needs to be taken care of. Now, there are some people that believe, well, because, I did this and I did this for you, should owe me. And those are the people you need to forgive for the way they feel about that stuff. But if there's, somebody that you actually owe money to, you need to work it out somehow and get these things taken care of.
Yeah, yeah. I seen one of them. Let's put that. She said that's right on, Kathy. I remember one time I asked God to show me a sign, and a song that was new at the time came on called Chemistry, and it was so relevant to my discussion with my DM. I can't deny. Yes, we know that
Mhm.
that does happen. The right song comes on, and like you said, that was a very good point. Out of the millions, what is it, or one out of millions that the
Yeah.
possibility song gets played at the moment
Mhm.
that you need, at the time that you need it? Or how about like when I was driving in the morning and you would
Oh.
drive and you see the truck, what kind of truck come away from Pennsylvania that's got the thing that says about the super ego, and I'm hollering or whatever it is outside there it is. At the same time,
Chasing down truckers. Oh my
I'm
God.
cut down truckers. I'm leaving the house 5 in the morning, and then they're coming down the highway from wherever they are, from Kentucky or whatever. What is the odds of that happening? It's a sign
Mhm.
to help me to understand that too as well. So, like you say, it's like this everything serendipitous. How you could be as clandestine. How all that stuff just connects together. It has to be something that's behind that. That's
Mhm.
planned. That for that to happen.
Well, and our numbers, as we're seeing our numbers, and I don't think Benita made it tonight, but she and I had talked, and as we're seeing, she's real big. If you guys don't know, she's real big into seeing numbers, and they all have a meaning, and it's fascinating. I'll kid her sometimes. I'll be like, "Your numbers are being chatty today," but
That's good.
we've noticed that we are going back into a cycle where back in February we were seeing like 777 or 77, seeing lots of threes, these kind of things. And it was brought to her that that's not so much for us because we've gone through those. That was our time. But now
Mhm.
it's what the DM is going through. It's letting us know where they are.
Right. Right, right,
So,
right.
when you start going, well, why am I getting nine again all the time? Nine, 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 and the other day, 17 and 71, I was getting all day long, and I looked it up. And for angel numbers, 17 means you're on the right path, and 71 means you're stronger than you think you are. And for what
Oh,
was going on that day was Dead on. That was exactly.
Okay, now give it to me again, the numbers again, so I can play for the lottery now. Give it to me one more time. What is it again? What? 17 was what? 71 is what?
17 is you're on the right path. Your angels are letting you know, good job, you're on the right path. And 71 is your angels are letting you know you're stronger than you believe you are.
Wow. And I've seen that a lot of times. I didn't know what that was. Oh.
Well, and we're also told, what is it? 717 is a union number. But then also the mirroring numbers are union numbers.
Right. So we all on the same thing, all the same kind of path there. Okay. All right, y'all want to see a magic trick? Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And poof. There we go.
There she is.
And she's back. I told you I know she went to another dimension. I know how to bring her back.
She just wanted the bottom spot.
That's all.
Well, that has been a journey.
Yes. How was that other dimension doing for you? I know you was here all along in another body, another cell structure.
You know, to be honest, it wasn't relaxing at all, even though there was like a few moments of breathing.
Yes.
It was a lot of cleaning up. There's a lot to clean up in this other dimension, and I'm going to need to recruit. Hello, who's coming with me? Who's with me?
Yes. Talking about timelines. She got stuck on that other timeline. She's back on our timeline.
That other timeline was way too domestic.
It was too domestic. Okay. That's what we figured.
Let's go back to High Priestess Empress mode. Can we do
that?
Please?
Yes. Yes. Yes, hunting. We see you. So how's the energies doing for you? That's what we were talking about. How did it feel for you?
Well, you know, it's relief with a lot of still trudging through, like making sure we're crossing the T's, we're dotting the I's, we're not acting as quickly as we want to, used to. We're flowing more with what spirit is guiding, right? So, and it doesn't even matter what it looks like anymore. It's becoming much more comfortable in its own skin. It's willing to ground. What is it? Come out of its shell.
Okay.
But I was like, Groundhog Day, that's not right. What is that? Groundhog Day is winter, right?
How many days till, how many more weeks of winter?
Yeah, how many weeks of winter? Yeah. It sees the shadow. What you got early spring, if you don't.
If he sees the shadow, you have longer winter. I don't know. It doesn't matter here in Florida. That just means it's going to stay, in the 70s a little bit longer.
Hey, rub it in, why don't you? From a Chicago.
Well, I mean, I want to take it as a metaphorical, right? Because April's naturally springtime. Like, that's the nature of me, right? Constantly. Which can lead itself to being stuck in another dimension for 20 minutes when people are actually trying to contact you on so many levels.
Yes.
I might as well have just tripped over my own computer. And it's very funny, very funny. Anyway, I feel like feminine clearing out, masculine going through it.
Yes.
Long and short. New waves, I feel like they got it easy. But they don't have it easy, right? Because
they don't, no.
If we look at it like how the timelines are reflected in our political environment, right? Like our ancestors that came before us, they fought a lot. They put up with a lot of shit to get where we are right now. And we're still having to do that final little push, right? So in terms of the spiritual dance or warfare, depending on where you're coming at it from and where you are in your particular flow or cycle or karmic evolution, or however you want to refer to it, it can be really rough. It's been rough and sticky at times, but
Yes.
just giving myself that patience, that love. I have indulged a little, I'm gonna be honest. I gave myself a little bit of extra chocolate this week because it was just that time. What can I say? But I also was like, you know what? You got this. You deserve this chocolate. This is just helping you understand how to love yourself and give yourself what you need more. And I had that creme de la creme chocolate, okay?
Okay. All righty, I see you.
Venus has spoken. Okay, we want the good stuff.
Well, like April was just saying, and Moonly makes a point. It was like about 8:49. She says maybe it's okay if we're not okay, because the one who holds the stars holds my whole life. Maybe it's okay. We are just that we are messengers.
Oh, that's so romantic.
And that's beautifully put. Then she said earlier that financial fears have been coming up, and I think that is a very that's a big thing a lot of people are facing, especially now, like we talked last week with the holidays coming up. That financial fear, we start getting that, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to do, the holidays, all of this stuff going on. We're being bombarded by, buy, you need this, piece of plastic, you must have,
Well, it seems like it's okay. So we're going through this whole, I have a whole spiel that I have written in my mind. Sorry, Kathy B. Where is she? She's above me. She can give me the old tap. I'm sorry. Anyway. But we are so, what media is showing us is not what is true to our evolution as a species, as a human species.
Oh, so dead on.
And then politics itself has been failing us for quite some time. But the illusion of power and misdirect and misallocation of resources is what has got us in this predicament in the first
place. True.
So how do we do it now? Love and actually patch things that need to be patched, which are us in our relationship with our environment, us in our relationship with like garbage and how we move things around, but that's what I'm trying to say is having that patience for us to actually hear ourselves and figure out what we need and what brings us our joy is putting really beautiful stops for the masculine, I guess.
Okay.
To pause and say what isn't working, right? What hasn't been working, and it's either forced or easy. And so I laughed because it's a nervous laughter because that stuff can really hurt sometimes. It's and that anticipation, even though it can sometimes be anxiety, it feels like anxiety. It leads to that sweetness. I've been eating a lot of really beautiful food. I've been making myself beautiful food with local produce, doing my best to stay on top of my nutrition. Financially, I've been working with this organization as part of also setting the word out for my company, because the foundation of having your best life is having solid nutrition, is having what your body needs. And then you can actually start to hear what it's saying, which is, I need more love here. I want to heal this energy. I need more love and focus with this. And it has a financial center. So if you're looking for something, check out Made for This Life, madeforthisgoldenlife.com, just saying, for a little bit of financial income for you, as well as an incentive to take care of you and your family's health. But it's everything. I feel like women are doing that, taking the hold financially, letting the alpha come in and say, what are the boundaries or structures that I need to feel safe so that I can then get into flow and creativity. But it's like super crunch time. And this puppet show that's happened, this puppet show of an election. That
going
roller
on.
coaster, that roller coaster, right? The me and my spirit guides, like just when you think I'm good, we're good, we're pulling in the station, right? And it seems like it's happening everywhere. They're finally pumping news through other countries. Like people are rioting. Like there's all kinds of stuff happening all over.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I have become not so much when I do watch the news. I don't watch a lot of our channels. I don't watch our American channel for news. I watch the BBC. It's and it was a wonderful like learning experience with my oldest because I said to her, you know, they don't have a dog in this fight. We don't owe them money. They don't owe us money. You know, we broke away from them once before. They're still not real crazy about us. Um, so you're going to probably get the most honest,
That's
you know, information from them. And it really opened our eyes to a lot of things that were going on. And then being able to see in other countries what's going on and then see it from like CNN, and seeing the spin on these things.
British
You know, it's
British CNN.
mhm.
Now,
Now the
I've
British
been,
CNN still a little,
They
you
look
gotta watch
edited.
that one. They're a little,
Okay.
but yeah, BBC still your straight old good old fashioned British broadcasting.
Okay. Got you. Got you. Okay.
well, I mean, aren't several shares? I mean, I don't want to start some huge political thing where suddenly this video gets stripped off of YouTube. But aren't most of these things run and owned by Rupert Murdoch anyway, no matter what country you're in?
Mm-hmm.
Because of I mean, that guy's in the 1%. We don't talk about him very often. Of wealth, not of spiritual wealth, right? But of physical, like not physical, but they're talking greenbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What are we using? Shells these days? What is it? Beads? Some chevrons?
Yeah, Soul Mission says they're all on the same. They all have the same board of directors, and that's exactly right. I mean, really and truly.
And so people are really having this question, right? This question of who is telling me what and why are they telling it to me? And those of us who actually are able to kind of breathe, right? Those who are giving away themselves emotionally in terror, yes, they are trying to shape our reality out of non-reality. They
right.
really do want that to happen. And so we're coming together as a collective, and we have to say the right key words or phrases to not even be edited, because we're now finding out that they're going through and editing YouTube and all this stuff as well in terms of censorship.
Yeah,
so
they are.
At what point does spirituality, because that's unknowing, that comes from within. We all are advocates, especially with our playground, is to focus on yourself and your inner union and your inner knowing so that you can never really be knocked off course, right? Even though, yes, you will go through the throes of it, because that's kind of life. That's kind of our reality, right? I mean, we are constantly shifting in terms of our knowing when to execute our power. What are we willing to put up with? What aren't we willing to put up with? What do we actually want to create? And we can't even create until what? Maslow's hierarchy, we're all safe. And since the earth is now the mirror, let's go ahead and appreciate her. Let's appreciate ourselves. Let's do it in balance. Let's do it in flow. I mean, people are so concerned with making sure they're getting their bacon, but it's like, what about the quickness of global warming and the plastics and the like all the pharmaceuticals that are now in groundwater? We're on, let alone we're on fire. Like, we're not even talking about that. And then we're going to push out vaccinations, which don't make sense because a clinical trial 5 to 7 years and they're still recalling stuff.
Right. True.
They're still recalling stuff to this day. So, you know, who takes the breath? Us as
I
the
take
twin flames. Exactly.
I take the breath.
That's why she's here, ladies and gentlemen, because she takes the breath and she shows us how to take the breath. We help anchor it into us.
Yes.
And I'm like, let's shake it out, let's float into all those in between places. Check out the playground.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
see
turn on my
something
thing
else
so I can
good?
see the questions. Huh?
You see something else,
Oh, I
Kathy?
was just Moon Lee made the comment, she's kind of tagging on to what Soul Mission's saying is that
Uh-huh.
they focus on the dark aspect, and it does just to create an illusion designed to
Well,
instill
here you're gonna
fear.
see the dark aspect for a Freaky Friday.
Oh, no. Hold on. Money for the fine. I ain't got the bag on money. I told you about
I kid.
that. We is not
My
having the
background.
FCC on us. How many people turn, what she said, how many people turn off the news and say, wow, I'm really high vibing right now? I know you saying
Yeah.
that with sarcasm,
When I
but I
see the
got,
news,
yes,
I touch myself.
Well,
And
I watch the news for the weather sometimes. Sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't change that much here in Florida, so I'm not real worried about it. When the sky gets dark, it's going to rain. When it gets windy, the breeze is going to blow. I don't really need. It's like one of those the forecasters that a friend of mine had down in the Keys at one of their hotels, and it's like when this is wet, it's raining. When
mm-hmm.
it's moving, it's windy. If the conch shell is covered with white stuff, it's snowing. If this sign is gone, there's a hurricane. I mean, that's pretty much Florida weather. So don't even need to go to the news for that.
Yeah, well, if
Um,
you want to get deep with that soul mission, the weather can be controlled too. I
yes,
watched
it
a
can.
documentary on YouTube about that one time. They talk about the
Hmm.
car makers were helping to purchase so they could throw some kind of thing that messed up the stratosphere, and then so they wouldn't have like it was something about hail on it. It was damaging. A car industry said it was the hailstorms they were having in some kind of specific area was damaging the hoods of the cars that they had not sold, and they was trying to find some kind of way that they could stop the weather from being able to have these hailstorms in this certain area. And so they would send some kind of way, a mission of to kind of like stop it and to disrupt the atmosphere, so that wouldn't happen. So yes, that can happen.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they can control the weather.
they think they can
Yeah,
control
there
the
you go.
weather.
Yeah, you say, you know what I'm saying, you know the
You
terminology.
keep
Yes,
poking
yes,
mama. She gonna wipe you
yeah.
out.
Hmm.
Hey, look,
Chemtrails. Chemtrails.
Aerosol injectors.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
right. You
Several years later, I feel like I should send this to one of my old, really tall friends. He's a tree man, or at least he was a tree man. So he was a very tall
okay.
tree man, but he was all about
Okay.
them chemtrails all the time. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we're just cruising.
Okay.
Yes. The thing is, how do we take our power
Yep.
back, right? And first, we have to slow down, look at the self, and see where we have been giving away the power.
Ideally, yes.
We call our power back from all
Hmm.
time, space, dimensional realities, experiences, both incarnate, disincarnate, future, past, that can be
Future.
rewritten.
And if you've never done one of those meditations where you do that, and the first time you actually sit with a person and you do that, where all your energy is called back, it is it's unbelievable. It is the biggest like rush to have all of those things come back where you didn't realize how much energy you let go on a daily basis. And then when you go into a wider spectrum of past and present and future and past life, and you really feel the energy that you have lost,
Yeah.
and you get that intense feeling of being whole. It's wonderful.
A hanging hello. Yes, I've experienced that with Soul Mission. He did that one time with me on one of the healing ones, and he was like, call all your energies that you've helped out and sent out with everybody else, and helping people on the channel and doing readings with everybody. Call all that stuff back to heal yourself. And boy, it was just like I felt like I was in between a storm where they have all this air and all that wind and energy was coming back to me. I was like, woo, I can't stand with all this stuff coming back. But after a while, I was on a high for the rest of the week. I mean, like it's all that, even me just going back to think about it, I can feel like the energy and all that stuff coming right back to me. It is. You'd be surprised at how you giving out so much. I feel like that.
Well, and for all of us, I think, and it's not a male or a female thing. I think there's a sense of obligation we've all been given, that we need to give so much of ourselves, and we keep forgetting to let our cup fill up. And it's that oxygen mask on an airplane. We've got to take care of our levels so we are able to freely give. I mean, we talk about our counterparts. We don't want them back when they're not whole. Well, why would we want to give energy? Why would somebody want energy from somebody that isn't at top capacity? That'd be like giving, having a dinner party and giving them day-old bread and, expired meat.
If you wouldn't. If they're still in victim, if they're still in trigger, they're going to trigger you, and all you're going to do is sit there and fight with each other, and that's not what you're here to do. So it's like you willfully clean up, or it gets cleaned, it gets shaken out of you until you're in a state of recognition.
Yes. I don't know why, April, I zoned out and I seen you almost like I don't know what period that was. I'm back now. Just in that 1 second, I said, chip, I'm back.
Was it like 1920s?
Yeah, where you got this nice big mirror, and I can see you got on like this lace stocking, and you just, excuse me.
Oh, thank you. I was like, I am in that mood. Yes, I am.
And I can see you with
well, she has like that antebellum porch behind her on her mural. So
and she got the little poof of the perfume, and I can see it just like you getting ready for your guy to come on over there. I'm like,
wow, this is my fellow goddesses. She left this here for me to play with new for my beauty segment. April on the veranda.
It's coming through the thing, because I say next thing I'm gonna see is she gonna just go ahead and start lotioning her legs, and I'm like, okay.
Let me tell y'all the story. I am actually adorning myself with oils in preparation for our connection, our healing segment. Our healing segment of the show.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know where the hell I sold out, but I see it. I'm like, what time period am I at? What is this 2020 or 1920? Where the hell? Okay, I'm back.
Looks like I'll be pulling back some energy.
Okay.
And that's a great point, April, is that when we pull our energy back, we transmute our energy when we pull it back. So it's not a bad thing to pull that energy back from people so you can give them back that clean energy. I think especially those of us that are parents, there's a lot of times we need to pull that energy back and get rid of that stale and that stagnant and things that maybe we hadn't thought through or responded and not reacted and not responded. And, those kind of things, that kind of energy also can be pulled back and transmuted and then sent back out in love. So when we say
past relationships, like you guys, it's getting deep. And this is, it's okay because we keep talking coffee pot. It's all right if it comes up again. Like, let's say you go through the visualization, you've surrendered, you've given up and given in and shred as much as you can to pull all of that power back into you. And let's say you think of that scenario, you've sealed it, you've done all the healing work, you've done some positive light stuff, right? Because you got to seal it to container, right?
Yes.
Then you go your day, a couple weeks later, something pops up and it twinges a little. It's different. You clearly see that it's different, but it twinges a little, and that's okay, right? Because that's part of that process. We had a wound. We got a scab. We let the scab heal. We looked at it. It peeled off, but there's still a little bit of a scar, and it's not because of the scar itself doesn't hurt. It's just a little bit of a visual of the memory of it. But that we can tell the story, we can tell the tale, and we're stronger because of it, and we can protect it from others. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Did somebody say something here? Oh, the moon. I know.
Moonly did.
Yeah, it says sometimes when I think about DM coming in lately, I focus on the knowing that he will come when we are both fully ready for it to be the best. And if that takes a few more weeks or months, so be it. And that's a healthy outlook of it. Understanding that while you are waiting or patiently waiting, that you still go ahead and do what you have to do in the meantime. And it's just your attitude that propels you to go a long way with that attitude of gratitude, the attitude of understanding, attitude of acceptance, attitude of forgiveness of self, that where you are. And I think that's really the keys and the recipe to kind of get us to where we are as far as union, not just with ourselves, but when we're talking about as far as with our divine counterparts. That's a real key ingredient that you're working with there too.
And Moonly and I are sharing brainwaves, because I was just ready to make this point. She said, well, not wait, because that's not accurate. I'm working on myself because I want to, and only because I want to, not specifically for him. So we're holding space for him, but we're still moving. We're not waiting, because waiting kind of denotes that idea of standing still or being stagnant. You wait in line. There are waiting rooms. What do? You go sit in the room until it's your time. So we're holding that space for them, and I think that's wonderful. Yeah, you work on yourself, and that's something we've got to focus on right now too, as well as we're talking about pulling back, and reclaiming our energy. We have to also reclaim and let them kind of have their energy and their time. It's all right to send them love, send them light, pray for them, do all these things, do your affirmations for your union and stuff. But then as you go through your day and you're working on you're working on what you're doing, be it your job, be it your mission, be whatever, and they keep popping into your head, it's all right to say, I love you, but not now. We've got to put those boundaries up, because there's stuff they've got to work on as well.
Okay. I got what you all saying about the weight, and the weight that I wasn't talking about was the one I'm looking at that in the direction, which is again my weight. A definition is to delay action, like you're not moving and putting something else forward in the place of, and so that's what I mean by weight, not weight
Right.
like and I'm saying, oh, I'm waiting for him to get his stuff together, so I don't do any more further action. It's just like you're delaying, you're not doing any other thing beyond that. So I got what you all are saying. I understand about the weight.
I think that's
It's the
the
negative,
general, that
right?
not your definition, but the general. When we think about waiting in line, a waiting room,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for a bus, we're in one place.
I got you. So I wanted to find what I'm talking about. That's what
Yeah,
I
but I
meant.
like, yeah, I agree with what your definition, but I think the in
Right.
general is the.
I got you. Okay.
I think of it more like as in uh, it's not really even cultivating or holding space. It it's creating a new, allowing yourself to be a new, so much that they can come in new, right? Because we chase something that we're recalling, and we want there to be space for it to come in new, to come in confident. And I feel like every time I do what you're saying, which is the not refusing the energy, just putting it on, saying, yeah, this feels great, but I'm gonna keep driving this. I'm not gonna spend all this energy, shoulda, coulda, thinking about if I coulda, if I'm gonna send this and that. No. I get to do this for me. I get to do this for me, and it's starting to become more conscious and what's the word, consistent, versus shopping. Hold on.
So I'm having fun back here. I'm just being me.
I'm reclaiming some energy.
Right, that's what I'm doing.
He's expanding energy.
He's expanding. There we go. There we go. We're expanding energy and we're testing sound too.
Well, it was brought to me tonight, as I was in the shower and stuff. Um, the pulling back our energy isn't a bad thing. It's kind of, you think about the little kid, and see, because I have younger children, that one
Mm.
little kid that's kind of annoying in the neighborhood, and they show up every day at your door to want to play. And I got homework, or I got to wash the dog. Nobody wants to play, and then all of a sudden when that little kid isn't right there to play a couple days, then you know what, the neighborhood kids go out looking for them because they want to play with them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we have to be. Yes, we know what we know, we know they're coming back. You want them to come back quicker? Pull that energy back. Pull that energy back and work on you. There's the key word. Don't pull the energy back and then go, where is he? Pull the energy back, or her, and work on you. Become, the best version of you. And notice, that's, don't become perfect. We already talked about that. We don't want to be perfect, but you want to be the best version of you. And that's what we need to do. And when we pull that energy back, and not in a mean or hateful way, like I say, I'm always like, when he tries to come in, I'm like, I love you, babe. Not now. I'm working on something. Um, you know, and it's all right, because it gives him that time to kind of go into the hermit mode, which a lot of people have been pulling lately for the DMs. And so they can reevaluate, and they can see where they need to go, and they need to make that plan, because that veil has gotten very thin. Things are coming from the 5D to the 3D really fast. And as fast as they're coming, we know our DMs, and they're trying to make a plan. They're trying to figure out how to do this, how to get everything in order. And as they do that, they don't need you, cleaning their chakras and sending them all this stuff and trying to talk to them on the 5D constantly. Sometimes it's like one of those, women, shut up. And you have to.
It does cloud them. It does cloud
Mhm.
up what it is they're trying to clean out. Like, yes, you're going for union, right? Yes, of course. But the union of self, for them to have the clarity of self, to shave off the old patriarchal system and integrate the new world and the new creation that is
Mhm.
our trajectory as an earth being, right? Takes time. And so, who are you? If you can't answer that question, guess what? Pull back energy.
Mhm. And who are you isn't, what your name is, and what you do as a living. Who are you is, I'm compassion, I'm light, I'm love, I'm healing, I'm empathetic, you know I, I'm a lighthouse, I'm a beacon, I'm a teacher, I'm a lover. That's who you are. It's not the fact that when I say I'm a teacher, as in I work in a school. I'm a teacher as in I help others learn lessons. And you can be a teacher in a grocery store. I'm going to tell you what, you want to meet some of the best teachers in the world, that are going to teach you life lessons. Go in and deal with a cashier at a grocery store. They're the ones that, and look at the ones that have the longest lines. Those are the ones that smile, that have something nice to say. Hey, how's your day been going today? I don't know if they care or not, but I'm going to tell them. They're going to ask.
Right.
Those are some of the best teachers in the world. And I've learned, there's a show on television. Now I got to think of the name of it. It's it's the antique. They're not antique. They're what are they? It's Frank, but they go around there. They're pickers, American pickers. That's it.
Okay.
When he thanks somebody, if you've ever watched the show, watch how the guy Mike thanks him. He doesn't say thank you or I appreciate that. He tells them, I appreciate you. And somebody asked him one time in an interview, why do you say that? We've noticed you say this, I appreciate you. What does this mean? And he said, they open their lives up to me. They tell me these stories, and I appreciate them for who they are. You know what? What a beautiful thing, you know, and just little things like that can teach a world of lessons. So that's when we say, who are you? You should be able to not rattle off that list, but be able to have that list. You know, I'm not my name, I'm not my age, I'm not my
Age,
skin
right.
color, I'm not my weight, I'm not my race, I'm not my gender.
Even
Because all those,
oh, sorry.
I mean, you can get rid of all of those things and you can still be loving, and you can be a teacher, and you can be inspirational, and you can be light, and you can be healing. It doesn't matter. You know, what the meat suit is doesn't matter. The soul garage, you know,
No,
that,
to a certain extent, it does matter because you are on this plane and in this earth body for a reason. There's a level of self-care and understanding and reworking and wiring with the machinery because we have been taught to disconnect from our meat suits because of the glorification of spirit, right? But without the body, spirit would not be recognized.
right.
So,
But when you're talking about your legacy and what you leave and who you are,
Not gonna matter then.
that's where that comes in.
So
Yeah.
when you're reintegrating self ID, right? The I am. When you're reintegrating I am, or the I read, the I that I am sent me, this is where everything guides you, from your emotions to what patterns you're seeing that they were mentioning earlier, to what you're feeling in your body and how you respond to that, right? If you're in pain, you could react and say, I need some kind of medication, drug me up, I can't do this anymore, you know? Or you can say, where's that pain coming from? Is that mine or is that somebody else's, right? Because that's also part of the empath gig. It's pretty funny and also not funny at the same time, right? It's boundaries. Is this hereditary? Is this something that I learned ancestrally? Is this from some kind of bad habit that I practice now? How can I give myself the best fuel to then correct that? Does that mean a positive mantra? Does that mean getting up every day in gratitude or prayer? Does that mean adding a journaling session to my day? Does that mean a little bit of yoga or dance or whatever it is that gets you into appreciation and into that vibration that allows you to keep stepping into what your I am is? And typically, that embodiment, we do our best to distract ourselves. Right? We do our best to not be present. And that could be giving away our energy to our other. Because we didn't learn how to appreciate our body and all the jiggly parts and the soft parts or the hard parts or the thin parts, you know, whatever it is that makes you out of flow with it. So that feeling that you have when you're breathing, let's all just take a deep breath in together. When you commit to a breath, when you commit to a moment, when you commit to that being of flow, that's when you know you're in the state of becoming and in the I am. And those that have a hard time being, if you find there's resistance, even in your breath, then see what's going on with your mind, right? Your mind wants to control what you're experiencing. It wants to hold on to an emotion. It doesn't want to allow you to be free in that moment. And why? Or if it's your body, there's so much pain, I can barely take a deep breath. Why is the body so out of alignment that it's pinging to you? It's telling you. There's so many different ways to get to how to be in the I am, that you should have plenty of time to be thinking about yourself and focusing on yourself versus giving your power away. And there is also finding balance, like as a mom, right? See me with my little baby all the time. I'm sure you just heard him. Finding that balance because they're caring for children, animals, plants, others, parents, you know, all the things. It takes a lot. And we are caring for each other as a society, right? Because that's why we all get in that frazzled over, how do we do this? We can contribute small little acts that we do ourselves, for ourselves, with ourselves. So you're doing the work. You're here, you're listening, you're not a slacker. Oh, 3:33 over here, people.
It's 3:33. Okay. I'm trying to see, was there anything over here on the side? I'm seeing that good job. I thank you. Moonly is talking and Desiree are back and forth on some things there. She's helping us to kind of see beyond some things of fears or illusion. It seems that way too. I like that this what she has said, that each individual life has been orchestrated over thousands of years to put each us where we are. So regardless of our form, it took thousands of years to make each of us the light teachers that we are.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's okay. You know, I have this idea. I don't know if I'll put it into practice. Maybe I will. But being, it's like ho'oponopono, but constantly. So it becomes your relationship with the world, but mostly with yourself.
Yes, that's what we said
Because
earlier.
we spend so much time beating up on ourselves or getting frustrated with ourselves or regretting decisions or so on and so forth based on perceived futures that we don't really truly know the beautiful orchestration that the universe has for us. And just, I apologize for thinking that I know better, for holding on to something that doesn't serve me, or for not listening to myself, or misjudging myself, or holding myself back in that circumstance. And I forgive myself because I know that I'm worth it. I know that I'm worthy of that love or that time or that job or, you know, whatever it was. I know that I'm worthy of that attention. And, you know, please forgive me for putting me through that experience, for making me think I was unworthy. Please forgive me, even, or forgive my ancestors, my blood, that which comes before me, for not understanding how to work with that alpha omega, that imbalance between the sexes, you know, that relationship, that unhealthy relationship with drugs or alcohol. You know, all of these things can be broken down into the please forgive me, or I apologize, please forgive me, thank you. Thank you for even letting me see and have this moment of clarity where I know that I'm not attached to that experience. And I love you because I'm still growing and feeling in the humanness, in the humanity, in the now. So, how are we feeling? How are we feeling?
Feeling you, and it's so funny. I'm listening to you, although you came and you was on another dimension. You probably was eavesdropping, but a lot of what you just said there was pretty much what we had talked about earlier. You just kind of came and zapped right on in. We said that, and we were going to talk about forgiveness, and that's what we're saying. And being okay with being okay, that you might not be okay, but it's okay that maybe whatever you did in the past was not okay, but being okay with being okay.
Yes.
That's the how we that's where we're at right now, is really coming to this true acceptance of, with all roads, how they intersected, and how we've actually came to this point of being, and saying, okay, this is where I am, it's okay now, moving forward, what's the direction, what is the place that I actually want to go into. Now that's where we're at right now, is really choosing the road as to which way we're going to drive forward, and say, okay, we're going to take all these experiences that we've had in the past, and then we're going to actually do something with that so we can create this new world, or this new age, or this new place in which we're actually going forward towards in, right now. And that's where we're getting really pushed to do.
So we ask ourselves, if we start to get into the emotion, I feel like emotions are some of the best guides, right?
Mm-hmm.
What brings you joy? We did a whole, what was it, last year, or was it 411, the extras? No, that was staying in 5D. When did we, because it was one of our major events that I think you could still get, which was so chock full of knowledge. but maybe it was about kind of like finding yourself on mission, or healing that, using the inner child to reach your keys to happiness, or your
Okay.
keys to understanding
I want
yourself.
to say that was the 411.
Yeah.
The actual event.
Mhm.
Actually. Okay. Yeah, because all of that information, like, I looked back at it, I was like, wow. What happened in 2020 was like light years worth of bullshit that we did, like we went through. Like we reanalyzed and then again reanalyzed. Right?
It's the reason everything I know is
We
bullshit.
put it in the freezer, took it out, thawed it, tried to cook it, realized it was still chewy, but for some reason froze it again. And I find myself going back.
The hot sauce ain't did a daggone thing to it. Still tastes horrible. Okay, we're going.
Exactly. And it's like, what is all the stuff that you've been telling yourself that you're now out of practice because something threw you off this season? It felt like 5 years. I posted a thing that says, did anybody else enjoy the last 5 years of 2020 or something?
5 years packed into 1 year. Okay.
We ain't even over yet. Still got 2 years left.
Oh, Lord, no. Okay.
It's a montage of a year, isn't it? So how to rekindle that passion, to rekindle it, helps with just going into child mode, going into play mode. We're now recreating, and we have limitations. And when you're a kid, you know, I tell my son, okay, you can't play with this one thing. Well, I got plenty other things to play with, plenty other things to create, plenty other things to blow your mind with and make you think, oh, I thought that was a good toy. It turns out that isn't. I got to take that one too, right? So 2020 had a set of limitations associated. And a lot of it had to do with communication. A lot of that has to do with reforming the identity. You can no longer see who I am, but you can still see my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in a state of, well, how much of me do I really see? How much of me do I really understand? And being forced into these places where we're looking and cleaning the Kali pot, looking and hearing our souls, those of us who are listening.
Mm-hmm.
The keys to step into joy for it, though, are childlike. I found every time that I felt really wholeheartedly good about something or going into something, that's something I loved to do as a kid. And
Yeah.
that being doing the dressed up, the pampering, you know, yes, that was part of it. Nail
Eating
polish.
ice cream.
Oh, yes.
Joy.
That was part of it.
Pure joy.
And I think, you know, we keep wanting our playmate, right? But in that sense, once they're there, you know, that's the deal with childhood. It was over so quickly. Every time we went out and we had played it, it was over so fast. And now we're learning how to savor and understand and appreciate ourselves, so that when we're with our other, it's more a prolonged experience. Because we talked about the differences of timing of what it felt like when you're with your twins. Sometimes it feels like it's an instant. Sometimes it feels like it's forever. In a moment.
Never had the forever. It was always like just a blink of an eye.
Oh. Well, now we get to learn how to milk that orgasm. I mean, prolong that time. Is it Freaky Friday already? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Freaky Friday. Let your freak flag fly high. Yes. Yes.
I keep hearing that sexual healing song, and I think it's for me.
I think it's so. Because I done already went to the 1920s with you. So I think it is for you. I already know that. You got any kind of meditations or anything else to help us to become present in our bodies? Anything you got in your bags of tricks or anything?
Okay, I do a bag of tricks.
But I'm
so funny. don't know. It's not a really good joke. I was gonna say I had what was it? Um, I use a lot of yoni eggs, right? I use yoni egg work, and for healing the womb and connecting the womb and creating that sacred space, and then also working with my ancestors, working with future generations, all that stuff. And when you do this kind of work, which I've been doing for years, but it has to be reformatted now that I'm a mother, and now that there's constantly stuff going on, to get that same level of connection with myself. And you know, when you're relearning what your relationship with your hormones are, because women body, they have hormone fluctuations and stuff throughout the month. So you do this dance, and life right now is, oh no, how did this yoni egg get out here? What am I doing? Why did I just put this away? This is where my son could get it. What was I thinking, you know? To, oh yeah, I did buy him a set of 9 crayons for children that are shaped like eggs. Like, so the point of that being a really bad joke or an analogy for, we are getting so overwrought over things, or like just upset about things that we set up for ourselves for success, for others as well, and our future generations as well. So take the time, take the patience with the self, and flow into that omega energy, right? That's part of it, is that reflection. Who are we? So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. The eyes, set up your protection bubble, that bubble of sacred space that protects your physical body, your energetic body, all those beautiful subtle layers and chakras in between. Just take a deep breath. I want everyone to take a deep breath and let out a sigh, and let that sigh reverberate through your whole body. We're going to do one more where we're going to add a little bit of sway, a little bit of flow. Open up the spaces between the bones. Take a deep breath and stretch that spine, shoulders, fingers and toes. Open the chest and let out a sigh. As you start to normalize your breathing, I would like you to imagine the heavens and the earth, that glowing deep fire from within the earth and that glowing white light from heaven come together to meet you and start to flow into your body. So heaven flows in from the crown, in down to the third eye, the throat, the high heart, the heart. Oh, it also flows in through from the deep heavens into your hands, into your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, into your heart. That red molten magma, each breath gets pulled in through the soles of the feet, the ankles, the knees, the hips, the roots. Go ahead and squeeze your buttocks, then relax into the sacral, squeeze the lower abdomen in, and the solar plexus into the heart, squeezing the chest and relax. Allow just this energy to flow through you, through the heavens, and the earth into you. And it just keeps building in you so much that this light energy starts to pour out of your skin, pour out, filling up this energetic bubble around you, filled with this warm golden light. You alchemize this energy of the universe and turn it into liquid golden energy. And it sweats and pours off of you and fills up this bubble. This bubble's up to your ankles, up to your knees. It just keeps pouring off of you. You're just getting fed like a battery, feeling all that heat and that cool and that beautiful in between. Just fills it up to your heart now, up to your shoulders. Just go ahead and wiggle around and feel that warm up to your neck, up to your ears, your eyes. Now it's over your head, filling up this bubble all the way. It starts to like slightly ooze out of the bubble on the ground into the room around you. And you feel the heaven and earth sending you power, sending you love, sending you connection. You want to put your hands together. Just go ahead and tap them. Go ahead and turn off that tap from the universe and the earth. And you're going to breathe into your hands, kind of like you're over your heart chakra. Just breathe into your hands and Anjali. You're going to allow it to open to yourself. And you're going to see this energy, bright energy pouring out straight from your hands into your heart. Ah. The other side. Ah. Oh. Good. Raise the hands and kind of let it trace your body. Go over your head, over your shoulders. Just allow the light to keep energizing, pouring out of your palm of your hands towards your body. So this is activating self-healing channels. Not only were you overfilled by the universe, but you yourself have energy coming out of you that will nourish and love you. And if you have any pains, I want you to take a pause there. Breathe in and hold the energy over that spot. Put your hands over that spot if you can. Or picture the energy going from your palms if you can't reach it to that spot. Breathe that in. There we go. Keep tracing. I want you to stop with your hands over your belly, over your solar plexus. And I want you to feel your power. I want you to know what you are. Whether you're in this life, a parallel life, whether it's someone else's energy encroaching on yours, you know what's yours, what came from your bubble, what comes from you, and what is external pressure or idea of force. And I want you to know that you are empowered enough to start alchemizing and working on yourself from a deep, deep cellular level to heal any wound or any problem that you have. You track the solution. Now drag your hands from your solar plexus to your heart. I want you to pour in the energy. Looks like it's shifting colors, which is really interesting. You pour self-love, self-trust, and understanding. Heart. Forgive them for the know not like they have done of the will. Just like it's been hard in the past to forgive yourself, it's hard for others to forgive themselves as well. So have patience for yourself, self-understanding, self-love. And that will show through in relationships with others. Actually, let's just go ahead and close by putting our hands around our ears. Sealing in our hearing to ourselves so that we can hear only directly from source, which comes into the karma. And from ourselves, we understand our guides, we understand our word, we understand the messages being sent to us. Actually, go ahead and go back and forth between your ears and your eyes. Just kind of allow your hands to wave back and forth. Clear these channels. so that anything that's coming to distract us or get us off focus is clearly seen and quickly evaded or taken out of our path by our guides. I'm gonna move your jaw. Those of you tightening up, I need you to move your body a little bit. There we go. One more time. Just go ahead and scrape your hands over your head and take off any of that excess stuff. I hear a lot of like old paradigm stories and stuff like that coming through. So we're going to be able to see that, stop it in the bud. Okay, go ahead. All right, let's come back now. All right. Ooh, I feel that alchemy. I feel like throwing up.
Right there, right there.
Maybe gargle with some salt water. I'm gonna go wash my hands with some salt water real quick. I'll be right back. That was super deep. Thanks for playing along. I'll be right back. Whoa.
Thanks for playing the Playground Experience game show. Kathy D, tell the lovely guests what have they won today?
You have won sand in your socks and your shoes today. You've also picked up some other strange child's cold and someone else's shovel and bucket.
That's what you won today. That's what you got today.
And for one lucky watcher, you have won what the cat down the street left in the sandbox. So
Alrighty. Okay, is there anything else as we close out today's session at the Playground Experience?
I think we just have to remember that as we go through this with all these energy changes, remember next Saturday, the 31st, we've got a full moon. So we're going to have that energy coming again. We've had a lot of really strong energies coming on, as well as all the planetary movement.
I'm sorry. Let me stop messing with her. We like in class. She teaching. I'm like, go. I'm sorry.
And you have to be able to forgive yourself as this stuff is coming in and these energies are bringing stuff up. You've got to forgive yourself. There will be times that you're going to be triggered and you're not going to handle it the best you can.
Yes.
There are going to be times that you're going to let something slide, let a boundary down that you should hold up. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay. But don't beat yourself up for it. And then also with that in mind, don't beat up your divine counterpart. They're doing the best they can with what the universe has given them. And they're going to get through it, and they're going to get through it amazingly. So don't give them the old story. We don't want our old stories back. They don't either. So if it's that they're never good with money or they can't ever make up their minds or any of these things, give it to, in affirmations. I am so glad. I am so happy and grateful that you do so well with money. I'm so happy and grateful that you handle everything the universe gives you. I'm so happy and grateful that I can, or that we do, make those very positive, because we know that we're not the same people that we were when this started.
Tone matters.
Yes.
It came up. Tone matters. Spirit knows if you're using sarcasm. Energetics knows if you're using sarcasm, and it will bring
Don't
you,
be sarcastic. No.
It'll bring you what you're trying to be like. Well, they better come in with their money right. Because it's like that's not how that goes.
No. And we've got, like you said, we've got to be sincere. Tone matters. We have to mean what we say, believe what we say, because we know we're not the same people coming back into this relationship, and they're not either. And we need to give them that benefit of a doubt, because I'll tell you what, going back and looking at where things ended exactly 2 years ago today, been exactly 2 years today, guys. I was a hot mess. I was I was borderline, I don't know, like off my rocker. I think anybody that would have heard that last conversation would have thought I was insane. Um, Now looking back at it, I've had to forgive myself for that because, it's one of those forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. Forgive me because I didn't know what I was doing. And now that I understand, I know how to make it better. But just as they're fearful, we're not going to take them back. You have to understand there's still part of them that they're fearful about us taking them back. They're also fearful. We're still, sometimes that little bit of a whoo-hoo out there, So if we want them to accept us as our new selves, we have to accept them as their new selves.
And we have to accept ourselves as ourselves.
Right. We do. They are accepting them and their changes. We're accepting us and our changes. And then that has to be a mutual thing. We have to accept them and they have to accept us.
The key I want to put out that just popped up was holding the line. It's so funny, this shadow thing with me. So the whole thing is, you can say all you want about, I'm doing all this stuff for myself, I'm taking care of myself, and you're doing it. And then all of a sudden, they come in and you stop doing the little things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go right back out the window. So hold the line for yourself and your self-care. You've got, yes, you get integration. Of course, you're going to want that connection. Of course, it's going to be sweet. But in order to maintain it, sustainability means regenerating the I or generating me so that the team can work. There's got to be something I could come up with for the next sandbox. With the me and team. But I don't eat meat, so I don't know where I'm going with this. But trust yourself. Trust your process. I'm excited for us all.
Yay! And I like Moon Lee says she's on it. She gets a gold star. She'd be one of them students. I was like, you're on it today. Moon Lee says something is shifting on that day. We were talking about the 31st
the blue
moon. She says a big shift. I felt it coming. I seen it in the cards. That is true. That's interesting. That again, if you're talking about from Hispanic culture, that the 31st, and then right after that follows the Day of the Dead. The 2 days, November the 1st is for the children, November the 2nd is for the adults, and how you're honoring. So again, it's a big shift, but then after it does that, then honoring where you came from too as well. Those things that have died and no longer serve you. So that's another way of looking at it, as how the universe is interested. The full moon again bringing in that shift, but at the same time, it's also saying about from where you've come from too, as well. So I thought that was very, very how it all comes together. We just said about how the universe brings things all together at that same time with that full moon, as well. Yeah, moving forward. Yes, yeah, that's true. Yes, Tammy, moving forward. So, just understanding that. That the big saying let's not forget, again in the Sankofa, you go back from your past and you snatch it and you bring it forward so you can be able to move forward with a new understanding. Because if you forget about where you came from the past, you have what they say, someone say you have the tendency to forget and redo it over again. But it's not even about that. And I keep saying, it's not even about that. It's about also understanding that it's just being grateful to saying, okay, those ways where I came from a long ways. Because like again, Kathy D said, she looked at herself 2 years ago, wasn't the same. If I could look at myself 7 years when the journey had started, I'm not the same. I have more forgiveness than ever before on some things, even with the DM, other people that I interact with. I'm a whole different person than I was back then. I say even an hour ago, or a day ago. That's how much you ever evolving on this journey. All right then, peoples. All right then. If you want some more of this good stuff, this good yummy stuff that we're delivering over here and serving, go to pineapplefishlifecoaching.com with our own Kathy D, which she has all that good stuff to help you with your mind. This is our time to plug. Is there anything that you're doing special over there at your place?
Um, no, not really. We're not any real specials going on just yet. We'll have some for when we're closer to Thanksgiving. Some of that
Okay.
because those seem to be harder times for people. So
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Then.
I
So we're
hope it's
going
a twerk class.
what?
I said, I hope it's a twerk class.
Kathy D is doing twerk classes Mondays at 7:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, and that'll be purely for comic relief because you sure won't learn anything.
Hey, I tried that twerking, Kathy. You showed me at the club. I got a lot of people laughing at me. I like
It's definitely a self-esteem booster, let me tell you.
and then we have also April Williams here for May for this goldenlife.com, Golden Lifestyles Unlimited. You got anything going on over there? Anything you want to share?
Well, I got the womb healing up. I'm constantly got stuff going on in the works. If
Okay.
you're interested in a really beautiful like detox or any kind of like body reset, I've got a really great company that I'm working with, amongst a few others. If you want to grow your own food, I'm starting to do towers, hydroponic towers you can grow in apartments. And I mean, there's something about having a constant waterfall. Also, working with plants, they actually exchange energy with you. And so they are better equipped to heal you because they are working with your energies. So there's a lot of really cool alchemy that can be done that way. You can be clearing out your gut because a lot of us are having intestinal or gastrointestinal distress, especially now with the election, all the stuff going on. Having the right foods and fuels in the body are going to be a huge thing. There's even a product that helps get Roundup or glyphosate out of the body. So hit me up on my channel. That's a big deal. Once your gut is cleared, your intuition is going to be off the roof. The other part is I would definitely recommend co-working this with Kathy D's reprogramming, because we like to use certain foods and things for habit. And the way to kind of get out of that, she's got a wonderful program set up there too for hypnotherapy. So that would go really, really along really well with that. I've also got some really nice 15-minute and 30-minute sessions if you want to start moving and working with the energetics that are going on with your body. Unlike our beautiful Divine Sunshine, who's got the cards on lock, I actually read you. It's a fun gift that that these two ladies can attest to. And then once I tap in, sometimes things just come through at just the right time for you at a later time too. So just keep up the health, trust yourself, reacquaint yourself, and reawaken into your alpha or your omega, your feminine or your masculine. And we're here for you. We're you. And remember, you were made for this golden life. Your body, you're here on time. You were made for this golden life. Yes, you. You know how I know? Because you got me here, girl. You the one. She the goat right now. She the one.
Get out of here. And also Divine Unisouls at Love.co. Come on over here, and we have our event. If you love what we're doing on the Playground Experience, all three of us are doing an event on 12/12. Again, helping us bring it in the divine order into the new year, helping us with our doing it through the body, the mind, and the spirit as well. It will be at 12/12 Central Time, and it's only $12.12 too, as well. So it'll be 3 hours. And then we also have Benita, who's going to be coming in talking about the new ways of family, the dynamic. You need to know that, especially these children, because especially when I'm talking to these clients and the kids get there, and you all tell me about what your babies are doing. I mean, they're coming in here strong. So you need to kind of, although kids don't come with a manual, you might want to come in and see that, because she's got a good, nice blueprint going there to tell you about what's going to be happening for your children and new dynamic of family too. If you're thinking about having when you have family and you have a combined blend with your DM or DF, when you all come together, let's speak that into existence. You got to learn how to blend that or either start your new family. So that's another aspect to look at too. I got to confirm with one more person. I think so, but he kind of not told me definite. So I want to make sure I heard right, and was that through my sleep? So we got one more person that's on that's on as well. Don't laugh at me. But also as well. So it's going to have some goody stuff on there for you to help you to get ready for this new year that's coming forth. Also, and not anything right now. I'm kind of dealing with the ones that I have my clients, but I do. If you're inclined to, of course, I got the love letter. If you want to have that, also the union read, transformation read, and all that other good stuff as well. If you need me to tap in to help you know what's your blocks and triggers to getting you to your new you or what's happening with this new moon, most definitely come and hit me up in the cards. And my intuition between those two will tell you what's needed as well. Please make sure that you are clicking, liking, and sharing and subscribing to this channel as well, because we got a lot of good stuff. We got the playground experience. We got other things that's on this channel as well. So make sure that you are doing that and getting that notification, smashing that notification bell, so you can know about what other great things that we are doing here on the playground experience. All right then. All right, since you came late, you're going to start and kick it off first, April. Get us on out of here.
Stay blessed. Stay golden.
All right, and Kathy D.
Wishing you the best life ever. See you real soon.
All right. And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste. Namago. Mwah. Love you. Until the next time in the playground experience.